And I'm with AT&T. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm with Knox. I'm the operations director there. It's so great to finally meet you.
Thank you so much for designating this time. I know you're so busy with everything, and we keep going back and forth with email, so glad we could schedule.
I'm glad we could finally meet face to face and talk, and I'm really excited for this meeting.
Of course. Oh my God. Is that a TCNJ?
Oh yeah, that's my I ran track at TCNJ. So we had the pin, yeah.
Small world. My husband went there.
Wow.
Did you get sushi? He always talks about this stud place that people get sushi.
Oh yeah, that's like a big thing. Like there's
oh my goodness,
so many people because like you didn't have to pay for it at a certain time, and everybody just run for the sushi. It was so weird. You think like cafeteria sushi, but it was actually really good.
Did you like running track?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was. I made like a nice like group of friends, and like it's like kind of nice coming into college and having like that group and. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anyways, let's jump right into the real reason I wanted to meet you here today. So I heard a little bit about the Andrew Knox Adjusting Company, and I really wanted to learn more about your company and see if our services at AT&T might be able to help you. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. So can you first off tell me your day-to-day work about your employees? I'm also going to be taking notes if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So basically we're in insurance adjusting field, and we have technicians where we send them out to like partners who like have damages that they want to report.
Okay.
So our technicians go out to the field and they write down the notes, and at the end of the day they're supposed to come back to the office and like transcribe these notes and put them into the system.
Gotcha. So how do they currently take their notes?
Currently they just have to do it by hand. So when they go out there they have to take notes by hand, and then as I said at the end of the day they come and type it into the online system.
Okay. So then when you send somebody out to the field, how do they know where they're going, or how do they get notified?
We have around, I'd say about maybe 45 to 50 technicians in the field at one time. So normally we just like look at the list and see like who hasn't been dispatched and we send them.
Okay. And then you mentioned that they take field notes. So do they have to transport them, or how do they transport their notes into like an online system or something?
So like at the end of the day, the technicians unfortunately do have to come back into work.
Okay.
And they actually manually have to put it into the computer.
Gotcha.
So they work over like 40 hours per week because because they have to go out to the field and then come back at night to put the notes in because we need like the people in the office need the notes.
So you said all the technicians work over 40 hours a week?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when you mentioned that they have to take their field notes and then transport them to online, how long does that normally take?
So traditionally, like I said, they work full days and they almost always have to go through overtime. So the process could take anywhere from an extra hour to 2. So let's say they end their day at 5 p.m. They're ending their day in the field at 5 p.m. because they may be in the office from, I'd say they probably leave between 7 and 8 because by the time they get like transport time back to the office, and then it takes them about an hour or 2 to actually put the notes in.
Okay. And do you find that this method ever creates any inaccuracies?
Yes, all the time. We have so many issues with either representatives losing notes because they go to so many different clients in the day, it gets disorganized, or there's just like cases in the system where they don't save it properly and it gets mixed in with somebody else's and we can't find it.
So what happens if you're not successful with the transcription from notes to online?
Unfortunately, the only thing that we could think of is to have to send a technician back out in the field, and the client usually gets a little annoyed that they have to make more time for the technician to come back, and the technician's annoyed they're redoing the same thing, but that's like the only thing right now that we can think of.
Gotcha. Okay, and then you also talked about how you send your technicians out via a list. So how do you manage them once they're in the field?
They're supposed to like report back to us that they were there.
Okay.
So we'll check on the list that they're busy, and then we just kind of just go through the list and we're like, who's free at the moment, and whatever name we see first, we just send them. There's like no GPS or anything, so we don't know who's geographically closest. We just like look at
so you just call, you just go down the list and keep going.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you currently do your finances with your employees, and do you think this is the most cost efficient method?
So currently we're paying our employees a lot of overtime because they're going back and forth to the office at night and spending all those extra hours.
Sure.
And because, as I said, we do not locate them like by geographic closeness, we're really running into issues with like them having to spend even more time driving, and now we're paying for their driving time.
Right.
So we definitely could use a more efficient method of like moving our employees around as needed.
Gotcha. So how would your employees feel more satisfied with their job if they didn't have to do that double process? Would that help with their work balance or How
I think it would help with their work-life balance, because right now, like, one of the biggest issues we're having is they're complaining that they're working too much. They're complaining that they have to come in at the end of the day, but we like desperately need those notes, and we really can't figure out another way to do it. So like, we're making them come in, but a lot of them are unhappy and have expressed like unhappiness to myself and even to like my manager.
Wow. Okay. So how would it help if we had some sort of online database that they could do all that they're doing in the field by hand now online?
It would save us a lot of time and money, which are basically like the two biggest things that we're struggling with right now. Our employees' time and just how much money we're physically having to pay them for this overtime.
Okay. And would it make it more accurate and more simple for them?
Definitely. I think one of the main issues is they're tired, so when they're inputting into the system, there's a lot of errors that we have to like go back and fix. So just adding to the accuracy and also just the time management again.
Okay. And lastly, could a GPS locator help you by any means with your field technicians?
Definitely. I think this would be like a great addition, because I think that if we manage like the geographical closeness and make sure that like employees that are closest go to that area, it will just save so much time and money, and the technicians will be able to get there faster, they'll be able to get home faster, and everything will be better.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for filling me in, Beth. I really feel like I have a great perspective now on the Andrew Knox Adjusting Company. But with that being said, could I tell you a little bit more about my company and what we do?
Oh yes, I'd love to hear that.
Awesome. So if you don't know, AT&T is a world-renowned telecommunication company. We have had multiple mergers dating all the way back to the Andrew Bell days in 1876. But AT&T as a whole has now been in business for 30 years in the U.S. We're based out of Dallas, Texas, so right in the center of the U.S. We hit the whole U.S. and internationally, so we're always there for your needs. We've been ranked on so many Fortune 100 companies for having means to help other companies and whatnot. Currently, we have over 268,000 employees, and something we care so much about is creating this good work environment for our employees so they can help companies like yours be able to execute a great strategic plan. So with that being said, AT&T has so many different options and things we offer to clients, but something that I think might be able to help what you just told me is our workforce management system. Could I tell you a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. So with that being said, here's an educational handout that lists all of our employees, our components for the workforce management system. So first, I'm going to talk about a little bit of the features. So the workforce management system is a really user-friendly system. We have 4 main components that we like to focus on, and that is the job dispatching, mobile timekeeping, wireless forms, and event-based tracking. So going off of that, we have a lot of clients who like to utilize this for in-field notes and technicians, like for companies like yourself. We have a client who also was in an insurance field, and he said the workforce management system has dramatically changed our efficiency at the job. And I think that's something you mentioned, efficiency and accuracy.
Yes, definitely.
So we understand AT&T for your company that efficiency and speed is key, especially when you're trying to timely document damages and go back to your insurance adjusters and give them the information. So with that being said, we have the mobile online forms, the wireless forms, and for that, your employers are easily able to document damages on the go and upload it right to the server. And then also when they're online, they can log their hours, it will locate them, so many different things. So now, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of this. So why would you do this? So first off, this would really help diminish your overtime and pay costs, which I know you said. Because they can do everything right on the field, right from their phone, they won't have to go back to the office at the end of the day for 1 to 2 hours every day, which can add up to over 10 hours in overtime, which is a lot of money, as you mentioned. So they can have it all on their phone. Secondly, they can input it all in one place. So this will really add to your accuracies that you talked about. So they have these forms, and on the forms, they're all cut out to be the same. So all of your technicians will have concise, same forms when you're sending it to the insurance adjuster. Joe's notes are not in the same format as Mike's, and then that kind of leads to inaccuracies. So they'll be able to all have the same and be consistent for all of them. Also, because it is online, you don't risk losing their notes or misreading your information or anything. And secondly, I also think this will really add to the work-life balance for your employees, because you mentioned that going back to the office really does
Yeah.
take a toll in their day-to-day and probably makes them not want to be on the job as much and not put in their full effort.
Definitely.
So I think that's something that would really help you. So please take this.
Okay.
This just outlines a little bit more about the
Alright.
standardization,
Okay, thank you.
the job dispatching, and everything. So I know I just threw a whole lot of information at you at once, but is there anything I could go into more detail about?
All the information you gave was like great. I think it's going to be very beneficial for our company. I actually have one question though. A lot of the time we get like multiple calls from our insurance company partners to go out and evaluate damages, like all at once. Like they all come like first thing in the morning, and all of our employees are already out on calls, or like our system says that they're out on calls, and we have no way of like locating their like location, as I said. So it's like, how would your system help like navigate this issue and like find out who's the closest person to this location?
Right, sure. So that's one of the key components of the workforce management system that I didn't really go into, so I'm glad you asked that question. So we have enabled a GPS locator. So all of your technicians will have the application on their phone, the workforce manager. That's how they go into the job dispatching, they're logging their hours and the wireless forms. But with that being said, when they start their job in the beginning of the day, they turn on the app, and that initiates a GPS signal. So that will tell you what employees are on the job. Are they actually where they're supposed to be? Are they actually in transit? And then it'll give you little red dots for where all your employees are, and then where you are, obviously, it's going to be a different color. So then, if your insurance adjuster calls you up and they're like, hey Beth, like I need somebody at 42 Lane right now, you can go into the search bar right at the top of the GPS system. It's a picture right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, perfect.
So you go in the search bar, and then you'll type in the address, and it'll say, these are your 5 closest field technicians. So then with that being said, whether they're on a higher priority or not, maybe you don't want to send the first, you want to send the second or third, it'll give you multiple options. So then you just click their name and click dispatch, and it'll change their location to the one you just put in the search bar. So it's really user friendly, and then it initiates a call to their cell phone, so it's not like a text message that they might lose. It's going to be very similar to your current method of the phone call, but it is all online, so you can all keep it in one place so everybody knows. Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, that was great. I think it sounds like a great platform, very user friendly, and I definitely want to share all this information with my manager, and hopefully like we'll figure out like a way to implement this into our company.
Awesome. So that's one of the key things that I really think the workforce management system would really help your company, because it is so user friendly and has all of these different components that I think you mentioned when I was asking about your company. So first off, with that being said, I really want to thank you for your time. I appreciated learning more about the Andrew Knox company and what your field technicians do on a day-to-day and some of your worries. With that being said, would like to set up a time, maybe next Wednesday at 11, so I could show your field technicians a model of this and how easy it is?
Yeah, that would be great. We actually have like a big like conference happening with everybody. So all the field technicians should be in the office that day. So if I could bring you over to my secretary, Mike, over here, he'll definitely put you in the system so you can represent it to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you again so much.
It was great meeting you. And just like follow me this way and we'll go see Mike.